Lolita ban, the third ban coming out from S11. This time, it will be their first. And guess what? This is one of the comforts of RSG Singapore. Played it twice out of their 3 games during the group stages, and were very comfortable with it. And it seems like S11 did their homework.
Oh man, RSG have already opted to go for the first pick, right? So far in M4, it does feel like first pick has had just a much better win rate, better games overall, even though, again, usually, well, previous patches have actually been very advantageous for the second pick, right? Because you get the last pick in the first phase and the first pick in the second.
I think the best part about, being second pick is that you get to pick 2 prior picks, right? You trade away 1 prior pick away to the opponent, and then you take 2. Whereas right now, there's so many good first picks, like the Blue, for example, which already got banned. There's also that Eve that is wide open for RSG to take over the side of 505.
Same band so far, as you can see. It's just the Joy and the Glue that's traded back and forth, but the Eve is going to be prioritized. This is what I expected in Game 1. I expected the first pick to just go for the Eve because of how oppressive she is in lane to poke, and even initiating. You're so good now with the changes being made to the real-world inflation where you can't be cancelled by any CC except for the suppression.
Well, the Kajas was the Valentina is available, which kind of means that Kaja can lock down the Eve eventually, and having the Valentina also allows for you to steal that real-world manipulation. Instead, it's going to be the Benedetta as well as the Claude. The comfort picks coming out from S11, particularly this Benedetta, which Papa Dog really played well in the previous game.
Yeah, I think Gideon was talking about this, right? Papa Dogs being able to cut not only just the waves, I would say, cut apart the team fights, making it super difficult for RSG to synchronize together to fight as a team against a team fight composition, right? S11, on the other hand, I would have thought that they went for the Yuzhong because, you got an enemy Eve on the other side. I think that is a no-brainer over there, but I think that could be disadvantageous over the side of RSG as well. Diablo very comfortable on this Benedetta too. He would not be able to get his hands on it.
Man, the Claude first pick and the Leslie instantly. This is why I was kind of, I'm doubting the Claude pick. I don't really agree with it because, again, first pick early on, very easy to counter. You could see RSG just want to walk the Claude down. A Lapu to dive in. You already have the utility, the poke, and a Leslie that is a counter matchup in the gold lane.
Are we going to see like something like a Fredrin coming out from S11 earlier on, or maybe are they going to answer the Eve immediately? Like the Valentina is also still there, but they can pick it up if they want to. I like the Lapu-Lapu pick because it has good laning matchup versus the Benedetta if ever. You can also cut lanes, and you can team fight much earlier compared to a Benedetta, which kind of means that you can activate this Lapu-Lapu against the Claude the early stages of the game, snowball through it. We're looking at the Kadida. Okay. So what they wanted to do is really just to burst down the members of RSG Singapore, utilizing the rough waves against the Eve. You might not take out you might not cancel the real manipulation, but you can take down the Eve.
Yeah, I agree with you, right? I was thinking about, the Valentina would be good right here. You want to fight fire with fire, you want to fight water with water, right? You want to fight real world manipulation with real world manipulation. Create that Venn diagram in the middle of a team fight, and then no one stays around. But however, S11 prefers to fight with water instead. Kadita to try to find the burst, and it's very flexible. Not only just you can find the burst on top of that Eve, you can also find a burst on top of that Leslie as well if you can catch her.
It's such a smart move, honestly, now looking at it, right? I was, questioning the Claude pick early on. First pick, by the way. We haven't seen that in a long time, especially not in M4. But with the Claude pick, it did actually bait out the Leslie. That's also very vulnerable to the dive that right now S11 have drafted for, have, gone for. You can see the Kadena, the Benedetta. Leslie's not going to have a good time, right? Even with the Eve behind to help the Leslie, I think, again, we could just go back to when last time I saw this kind of composition, it was Blacklist International playing at IESF for Philippines, right? They played the Leslie and the Farsa. A bit different towards to the Eve, but still, that's a lot of dive going up against this kind of range composition that can be very, very bad for them.
So now that we can expect more jungler bans against RSG Singapore. So far, what they have played, RSG Singapore played Martis, and that is played like at least twice already, all throughout the matches of RSG Singapore. There's also that Ling that RSG have also deployed before, which might be of consideration, especially against a Claude that can dive with the Lapu Lapu and the Eve.
I
Okay.
personally feel Mirko and Wolf, RSG, like what we said just, like what we start off the day, right? This is do or die, what they've said. And not only just that, this is not only just a survival of the fittest, it is also a struggle of the fittest. The team that dropped this particular game will go home, and RSG is one game away from that. Yes, it's a very scary place, but I think RSG should be able to stabilize this. I have to believe in them. They can do this. And of course, showing support over to my homeboys. However, on the side of S11, they're banned away in Akaja.
Well, for me, I think it's the opposite right now. Unfortunately, Jays, with the bans here, they've opted to go for Grok and Atlas, and I know exactly what S11 are going for. At least, I think. Kaja ban, Marta's ban. They're opting to go for an assassin in the jungle, preferably Hayabusa. That's Jotun's signature pick, and right now it fits so well. You're up against the Leslie. You've already banned out that Kaja. They go for the Kufra first. That's another hero that can be good up against that assassin. Thing is, for S11, they don't need to rush it. They can even go for the Haya or the Link, right? There's two options. Meanwhile, for RSG, I don't think they can go for the assassins here. That's Kufra pick to counter it, and there's only 3 heroes that can really just maneuver away from the assassins.
Heroes that I can think of might be like Fredrin, for example, that can control. There's a lot of taunts, a lot of knock-ups, a lot of crowd control, technically speaking, and you don't have a lot of dashes, and you can be in the front line so that your Leslie as well as your Eve can be peeled through by your supports. And that also means that you need a way to scout. Diggy.
Bro.
Nope. I don't think
They
so.
pick up the Ling.
Oh, feels like RSG is feeling assassin today, feeling like a Ling. He will be going for that Ling. At the same time,
like
Losi will return to his Ruby roam. I don't know what to feel about the Ruby roam. Personally, I feel like a Franco is a lot better, but feels like they need that AOE. They want to hook as many people right into the real world manipulation.
Well, I can see why the Ruby can work here, right? But honestly, look at their composition. There's a huge, huge hole or weakness point in the back line with the Leslie. I thought the Diggy was going to come through just to go and defend into that. What? Wait, it's not a Hayabusa, it's a Paquito here up against RSG. It feels like with the Paquito pick, they feel they already have enough backline threats towards RSG, so they pick up a Paquito that can do a bit of both. But in the jungle, we haven't seen. Is this the first time a Paquito has been picked?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the second time.
This is the second time. The first time was picked by Blacklist yesterday.
In the jungle?
No, it's not in the jungle, in the XP lane.
Exactly.
But this time around, it will be going into the jungle. Paquito getting nerfed out of existence because of meta, but...
Are we even sure that this will be a jungle Paquito?
It looks like it. There you go.
Well, it is. Right now, you can see it's
Jotun.
Yeah, it's Jordan's actually playing it. So that will be a jungle Paquito. Okay, so what they wanted to do is to really get into the backlines. You have a one-hit combo, if that thing exists.
Is it high and dry Paquito?
It should be.
Definitely.
You wanna eliminate the Leslie as soon as possible. You have your ways to close the gap, and you have a one-shot combo with your ultimate to take out the Leslie. And that also means that you can also dive with Papa Dog. So there's a lot of dive coming out from the side of S11. They don't have much peel for their Claude, but even the Claude, if you think about it, even the Claude is also a dive kind of hero. So it's all about dive for S11.
Yep, it's all about dive, but ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, Erwin! This is not a good start for RSG!
No.
It's a horrible start for RSG. Bray did not use the retribution, and he has the killing spree. So this is going to be S11 who's going to be able to actually control the jungle for a bit early on. Erwin with the purple buff. They're going to be able to dictate the early game.
For sure. And definitely, the turtle is going to be in favor of S11 unless they like die multiple times. But knowing that there will be a level disadvantage for the Ling means that you forfeit the first 2 minutes of the game.
If you are the side of RSG, this is really hard to watch. And not only just that, Jotun is on that high and dry. You notice Paquito finds your back line, he's gonna hurt like a truck. And right now, it's all about the side lanes. RSG needs to play around the side lanes as quickly as possible. Get that Leslie up into the late game. Get that Lapu Lapu up in the late game so that he can tank and peel for the team.
Oh man, again, you know, you can already see the mid control here. The wave clear from S11 is going to be
Bray.
very good, and you can see already
Bray.
that's going to be
No,
Bray.
Erwin's
Erwin finds it! He catches him while he was jumping on the wall. Erwin has a personal issue with Bray, and that's first blood over to S11.
The pathing coming out from Erwin. He went from the pixel brush to the rock Ursa bush, and then going for the Kramer's bush to really cut down where Bray was going for. They heard that Bray is going for the crab, and they have punished Dooley. My goodness, Erwin.
RSG. No, into that turtle going down.
Gonna be able to find it right now. Jotun gonna be able to get out as well. Erwin and Papa Dog onto 505. One more hit. Papa Dog's looking for it. Under the turret, secures it. 2 for 0. Jays, how you feeling?
Man, S11, they're stalling on top of RSG. Merkel, seriously. This has gone from worse to horrible for the side of RSG. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it right now. Let's take a look at the items, Wolf.
Oh, not only the items, like you're looking at the economy. If you're looking at comparing the junglers, 1.5k to 1.3k in the early stages is such a big dent in the economy of RSG.
Speaking of dictating the early game, right here, Chan was holding on to the rough waves there a bit too long. Baits out the flicker out from Lolzy, and maybe that's what they were going for. Not the kill, but to bait out a resource to push RSG to a false sense of safety. But here, Erwin, doesn't find it.
Look at how S11's dictating every part of that map. A wonderful start for S11, and of course, not only just that, right? Ling is practically like, it felt like, you know, he's playing with a handicap. S11 has like a 5-minute head start, and RSG is in that big disadvantage.
1.2k at 3 minutes is really bad. Lolzy getting a big caught.
He is still going to be able to get out, though. Maneuvers out of the breath of the ocean as well. S11 with a 1.3k gold lead right now. Not really going to be able to get some more kills, but they will still be able to control the enemy side of the jungle. 5 seconds for the purple buff, and that's exactly what S11 want to look for. Jotun in position. Bray already on the purple buff. RSG with 505 rotating are looking to help Bray, but now it's going to be Kai jumping in. Erwin's going to be able to find a Tyrant's Rage and the flicker combo. In the back lines though, it's going to be RSG who are able to turn it around. It's a 2 for 0. Papa Dog has the world, jumping in, Liber Diablo, but will fall as well. In the end, it's a 3 for 2, making it a 3 for 3. Chan not able to find Baby Cakes just yet though. No damage.
Not enough damage right there. Baby Cakes will be able to limp away alive. But RSG may have taken a bit of damage, at least this time around. Ray does have that purple buff and will be going over to that turtle. So that is one way of RSG to climb this back. However, S11 though, they've got Super Omega Burst already in the mid parts of the game.
Good idea coming out from S11 to invade the purple buff, but bad execution because RSG were prepared for it and they went in too deep. S11 just really dove against RSG. Duly punished by 505 with the ultimate. They were really under the strongest point for RSG Singapore. Even after the big disadvantage when it comes to economy, you don't dive like that, and already, S11, this is a massive blunder.
RSG going back into gear number 1. They need to slow it down, but they need to go hard. But Chan finding 505.
Not going to be able to find the kill just yet here. You can see for the M4 stats, win rate of first pick, 59.26%. That's pretty massive, right? And here, everyone's going to be able to actually find the Tyrant's Revenge and the Rage onto Lolzy. He was able to flicker out, but Jotun's right there with a knockout strike. Baby Cakes perfectly timed to get Jotun off of him. But S11 have the pressure now in the gold lane. Baby Cakes going to be sandwiched. Jotun already jumping in there. Just zoning the other members away. 505 forced to flicker. That's the high and dry doing work. Jotun not able to find the purple buff steal. And that's S11 who are able to actually get Kai into a winning lane in the gold lane up against this matchup.
Exactly. The effect of that aggression coming out from S11 is that Kai is able to push a turret, make himself farmed more than the Leslie right now, about 300 gold ahead, and he's going to get his golden staff, which means that his farming rate is going to be exponentially better.
Papa Dog, gotta be careful here, has everything to get out, and RSG have wasted a few resources to just get there now.
Yeah, he's too slippery for RSG to catch right now. And don't forget, Diablo is also one Benedetta mate. He knows how to give it up. But RSG right here, we notice how Baby Cake is going in. Berserker's Fury going towards the Endless Battle as well. It's a very high damage build coming up from this Desi as well, but Erwin charging out. 505 may be in danger.
Oh man, 1.5k gold lead, not the end of the world, right? Definitely not. But, uh-oh, Chan already is going into the enemy jungle. Brave's looking for it. S11 are playing it really well now, taking it slow. Chan's gonna be revealed. Erwin jumps in, Lolzy on the top side, and Baby Cake's looking for a trade, but it's Kai who wins out, and it's a disaster for RSG. S11 find 2, make it another with the turtle secure 2, and RSG failed to find a trade. Erwin finds the Tyrant's Revenge, not able to find the Tyrant's Rage. Oh my goodness.
It's 3 at the turtle pit, 2 at the top side. 2 cannot catch the Claude, and at the same time, RSG used attempts on that turtle. I think S11 managed to sandwich RSG right into submission right there at the turtle, and also losing the bottom side turret as well. But let's take a look at the emblems goal.
Yeah, wow. Definitely the high and dry is going to be the big problem for RSG Singapore. You can see that he can burst down the Leslie as well as the Eve, or if not able to take out those squishy heroes, force out some of the battle spells. Oh no, Diablo going to be found, not die for now. And another problem for RSG SG is the dive, right? Coming out from Argentina. You saw that in the last turtle fight. It's not even a fight because of the pokes that Papadog was able to do, and as well as Chan just positioning himself so that he can burst out any of the members of RSG SG. Eventually, RSG Singapore will have to answer, and that means that their formation that they wanted to have will be destroyed!
Erwin with a play, and Kai with a follow-up. Under the turret is Papadog with a final blow. Brave's gonna fall. Lolzy is 1. It's a 3-for-1, and S11 only lose Erwin.
It's an Omega Dive coming off MS11, bloodthirsty. And then after that, translating into objectives, and RSG right now is just leading not only just members, but also map control.
What a play!
What a play. RSG Singapore, they will feel very secure under their turret, but my oh my, Erwin is making a case for himself as one of the best setup tanks that we have in M4.
Wolf and Merkel, nowhere is safe for RSG, but here we go.
Oh my god. Papadog even against 2. Forcing
Chan!
Ray away.
Oh
Chan
my
finds the damage onto Lolzy. That's the frontliner taken down very low. He has to recall, and you could see the map control is gone. Absolutely gone for RSG.
S11 has full map control. This is their map. This is hit their side of Land of Dawn, and that translates over to Lords. Multiple objectives as well. Bray and Papadog going at it again. RSG cannot even catch him at all.
Erwin's feeling it.
Erwin's feeling it as well as Chan. Look at him. 2-0 with this Kadita. Positioned already very aggressively because he knows that there could be a follow-up. Anytime he makes the jump, we'll miss it for now.
Kai gonna be able to get that blazing duet down. Ankara Kai, Diablo so low. Forced to use the bravest fighter defensively to get out. S11 are right now styling on RSG.
Yep.
This is bad. 505 already committed to the room of manipulation. This will be a turret push coming out from Argentina. Because of that Kai aggression, a big ultimate was down for RSG. Look at Erwin!
Erwin finds the revenge and the rage onto Lolzy. He's going to be taken very low, flickering out. Erwin now caught in the enemy base. Bray's going to be able to jump in, but that's going to be Erwin who flickers out. Once again, is Chan jumping in, zone the other black line away. Papadog with the final blow, getting back to safety. S11 unable to crack the base just yet.
They're trying to defend. RSG literally throwing every single utility, every single thing, every single ultimate they have in their pockets just to delay that push, but that is not the real push, because the real push is this Lord that's marching top side menacingly against RSG.
Let's see. The Lord is already munching on the top lane base turret. S11 not really going to go for anything too crazy here, knowing they still have an 8,000 gold lead. They decide to back off, play it defensively and disciplinedly.
Now they wait. Oh
my, never mind.
No, they won't. No, they won't. Erwin finds another jump. And Bray is also asking that question. How is it that Erwin is always able to find these openings and Bray bites the dust? 4 deaths for the Ling.
It's really tough for RSG. Bray has no access to the purple buff at all, and Bray has no access to the jungle at all. The gold lead is going to gap even further as well. Lozy unable to land down on that. I'm offended, and Kai going to the back line.
Kai melting down the back
Oh
line. Chen
my
fighting with the rough
goodness!
waves. Chen is going to be able to jump in on the baby kicks, finding another.
No way!
RSG have lost their back line, their high ground defense. Jotun with a knockout strike, still able to actually get out before Bray jumps in, but the shielding comes in. Bray's going to be taken low, and that's going to be the Tyrant's revenge to lock him down. The I'm Offended's appeal is not going to be enough as S11 march forward once again. It's a 3 for 2. They've cracked the top and bot base turrets open, and they're looking for the mid lane. Diablo jumping in with Bravest Fighter, but he does not have enough tankiness. Lolzy melted down, flickering out. Diablo getting out as well. S11 back off, but RSG have lost 2 base turrets.
That's really tough to watch. RSG right there, literally throwing every single thing, even a flicker, just to get out of dodge. It was Diablo buying for time for BBK to come back online just in time to try to push this off. But then again, a nightmare is going to get even worse because the Lord has spawned and RSG cannot afford to challenge this Lord.
You can see that Chan is really styling on RSG Singapore, going in with Kai. And even his ultimate, the Wrathwaves, was able to catch one more additional member of RSG. That's why they eventually got the double kill. And now the conceal play, Erwin and Chan.
Papa Dog as well, buying so much time for a scene.
no, they got baby
finds baby cakes. That's the goal laner down. Diablo finding stun, looking for more down. Erwin with the flicker again, and kind of follow it up. Diablo's gonna fall. Lolzy's gonna fall. It's 4 for 1 for S11. Bray finally finding one, but S11 have wiped out the Singaporean champions. Just waiting for the Enhanced Lord to march down. 14 seconds on 505, 5 seconds on Baby Cakes. The mini wave spawning once again. S11 just needs to get rid of the mini waves right now, and it is all over. RSG have been knocked out of M4 by S11 Gaming.
S11 Gaming, the Argentina fans, surprise every single one in M4, and they show that they are not a team to be looked down upon.
Sasageo, bro.
Sasageo. Erwin for the win, man. What was that? You saw it from the start. He stole a purple buff. In the mid lane, he landed a wonderful Tyrant's Revenge. And in the last moment, with Chan, they are able to find Baby Cakes. And then the Flicker ultimate just to lock down Bray in the end. They are styling on RSG. Really deserving of this victory.
Merkel, Wolf, that was the longest Lord March that ever happened in MLBB history. It's like, you know for certain that is it. And RSG was unable to defend their slot. And there you go on stage. A valiant fight. Don't forget, it is also Baby Cakes and Coach Dolly that's not on stage as well. Shout out to them as well. But S11 Gaming, thriving in the lower brackets. They will be going up against Falcon in the next bracket.
Give it up for S11 Gaming. Another dark horse in the mix. Outstanding performance by the man you see on screen. It's Erwin leading the pack to victory.
The stealer of purple buffs, the bane of lings, this bouncing ball, this Kufra, it's just something that is really hard to deal with.
All the plays that they made between like Chan, between Erwin, even Kai, aggressively going up against RSG Singapore, disrupting their tempo. We talked about how the Singaporean squad is based on team fights, on their formation around these big turtle fights, these big objectives. Argentina just did not let that happen.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, to break down the games, what exactly went right?
And Gideon, felicidades, S11, they're moving on up through the next round in the lower bracket. This right here is Assassin Dave, that's Gideon and at your service. My name is Leo. Let's go ahead and break down game number 2 and of course, the decider for this best of 3. Could have sworn that RSG may have found a way to come back because again, there were some signature picks in the draft, but let's start there. What exactly went down here? How did S11 just sweep the competition?
Look, I think it all started in the draft that we got that hope, that extra bit of glimmer coming in from RSG to turn it around. I thought that the draft was looking so very good, but S11, they had some incredible foresight in the game itself despite their draft.
Yeah, and S11 really opened up. We saw the Kufra pick, we saw the counter pick, Keto into the jungle, knowing that you have the lane. Now RSG really want to try something. Okay, this is do or die. Let me just play however I want it, but it might be just a little bit too late when they pick the lane. We don't see RSG practice the assassin jungles that much, and it turned out the decisive engages coming out from Irvin just changed how the game goes.
I think I counted the amount of Tyrant's rages he pulled out, and it's close to 50-50, but again, the fact that you're using that skill to zone people out, even if you don't catch anybody, that's throwing RSG's game off.
It really is. Sorry, I got distracted looking at Erwin's eyes again. Gotta wipe my mouth a little bit. I'm drooling. But overall, he has performed out of his mind. I mean, as we mentioned before about the foresight and on top of the draft, and yes, the counter picks that happened, the fact that they shut down the Ling in such a strategic and systematic way in the early game really set the tone for S11.
Yeah, I think every member from S11 here are probably the hottest member of the night here in this series. They play really decisive. You know, the amount of cards that goes into the entire series have shown in the results. Now they're going to be moving on to the next stages. And unfortunately for RSG, let's take a look at this kill board. Look at Kufra, 2-3-14, the most assists on the team, probably the highest kill participation as well.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful stat line from S11. Much, much better than that close bout they had in game 1. I have my eyes on Diablo, Jay's very own bias from MPL SG. Talk to me about this Lapu-Lapu, because who is he hunting down exactly, right? You want to find Kai, but that seems to be the only reasonable target.
And you're going to have problem doing it. Look at Kai, have 0 death the entire game. He's very, very careful with the position, and because RSG played so aggressive, they're always putting RSG in the corner, right? They're playing defensive, so Diablo can't really find those engages onto Kai.
I think they already knew that the mid game was in the bag. They just had to survive the earlier stages, and continuously just small micro movements and adjustments from S11 just showing off at this point. I mean, look at that damage deterrence. They were able to take basically everything across the game, and Kai was killing it.
And Irwin, Kai, Irwin.
Look at Irvin,
don't say his name, it makes me
84%.
shudder.
84% kill participation. In comparison to Lozy, 33%. Just to show you the tank, the roamer that played more decisive, that shot calls clearly, is usually leading the game to victory here.
And I think the Ruby pick may have been a non-starter because, again, RSG wants to be aggressive. Ruby, the hero's nature, is counter initiation. So already RSG may have been dealing with a lot in the back end, and then when it came to decision making in game and even in the draft, may have been difficult. I love how Kai was just left to farm out. This is a scary Claude, a very difficult situation to be on the other side of the map of.
Yeah, it really is, and especially since you've kind of taken out the big tool from RSG to kind of set the momentum and pace. Now you've isolated their targets, and you can really start focusing down on those main carries. And again, when you are playing the Sniper Leslie herself, it's really tough when you don't have that goal.
Something very specific. The Leslie was picked as a response in the first phase. Do you agree with me, Dave? That Leslie came in maybe a little too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually the goal lane is a pick to counter the other side. And Leslie sometimes is not really the most popular pick in the current meta. And when it's picked out so early, it can be easily countered, especially needs that ramp up to late game of a character.
Yep. Let's go ahead and award our MVP for this Game 2 winning bout. Of course, it's the supermodel himself. It's Irwin.
Oh, let's just savor this moment. Let's just stay a little bit longer on
Bask
the
in
stage.
it.
Bask in it. I mean, just because he's a Greek goddess doesn't mean that he doesn't play like one, because he's absolutely making the biggest impact on the map. And honestly, the fact that MY and SG had to break up, I'm pretty sure they had already predicted it. The foresight that this team has systematically taking out jungle supports and then affecting the lanes, immaculate.
No, at the same time, I want to give the MVP just to S11 overall, because tonight they have shown me the BTK vibes from M3. They have nothing to lose. They put everything on the table and just go for it. You see how ferocious they played in the entire series. This might just be the deciding factor for them to move forward in the loser bracket.
And more now in the knockout stage, wherein there's more games to be played and strategies let out, no holds barred. I think I also have to agree with you, Dave. I'm getting BTK vibes because their mechanics are so on point.
I mean, if history is repeating itself, they could be the reincarnation here to make it happen because it was BTK that knocked out a Singaporean team during M3.
You know what? I was looking at the lobby in the hotels when S11 was really chill. They have nothing to lose. And this is reflecting here, right? They're playing so relaxed, they're playing so happy, and it's showing in their results, right? Nothing to lose is going in. You saw in the mid lane, when Kufra goes in, diving onto Eve is absolutely insane. Here we're taking a look at Urban's heat map. Holy crazy.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
I love the beard and mustache combo. He's like a conquistador. He took over that river, and again, he's playing against a Ling. And I'm pretty sure even 505, you'll see in, I hate to point out like negatives for players, but 505, usually Eves don't die that much. Because of the way Erwin played, he put that Eve in such a weird position.
I think 505 was very careful, specifically against his matchup in Kadita, because there's a lot of kill pressure there. But I think Erwin, understanding that 1v1 matchup, can start thinking ahead of time. Hey, he wants to position the opposite angle. We cover as many places as possible. We can find this opening, and it will make it so easy if the mid lane is compromised.
Oh my god, look at Kufra. A little bit of extension into the enemy jungle here, right? He's always getting vision of exactly where Ling was, and that's why Ling wasn't able to find any assassinations in the entire game at all. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the highlights of the past match.
Notice where Erwin puts himself very specifically, and whether it be large team fights like this, he sets it up for Kai, or whether it's tighter bouts like here in the bottom lane where it was extended, you see he places himself where he needs to be. If he's gonna die, so be it, but if he needs to help get kills, again, put it onto the cores, then job well done.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is game number 1 in and of itself. He's slowly building up that confidence. He's starting to learn small habits that he noticed from RSG when they were collapsing the game. How does the lane work? So does he talk to your laners? How do you want to position? As we jump in towards game 2, it became even more devastating.
Yeah, this was the engage I was talking about, right? Urban jumping in decisively under tier 1 tower, and the entire team followed up. Here, one more time, Urban setting up those engages. What a beautiful play. And when you have a team to follow up and you have aggressive tank like Urban, it makes the play look so synchronized, so beautiful. It's the music, it's the song, it's delicious dish that you want to taste. So this is absolutely crazy. Look at over here. They started off with 1 kill on Papa Dog, but look at S11, right? They retaliated immediately, just very, very decisive game, and it wiped out the entire team of RSG, and that ended the game right here.
I'm not sure if we saw it in the highlights, but there was one shining moment for RSG, and I think that was because they picked off Erwin first. So a lot of this game, a lot of this series was on the back of